Nice, we are on live and direct. Good, awesome. Oh man, I am sitting here waiting for my beautiful girlfriend, and I decided that, you know, I was thinking today about, as I listened to one of my fellow people who does this for a living, as I was listening to a little bit of a tirade about Disney, blah blah blah, I said, you know what, I could talk a little bit about some of that stuff, because I think I feel it as much as anybody, if not more. So we're gonna have a little chit chat about Disney. What you can expect for the rest of the summer from me, as the next few weeks are going to be very, very fun. And when I'm done, I might go get a Frosty at Wendy's, because I haven't had a Frosty in forever. So they do Frosties with like Oreos in it. Is there an Oreo Frosty? How about they still do like chicken, they do like sliders at Wendy's? That's McDonald's. There's one of those right there too. I'll go get a McDonald's McFlurry. I'll get the Oreo McFlurry. Don't tempt me, Frodo. So let's talk. You ready to talk? I'm just gonna talk really quick for a little while. Just because it inspired me, I was like, you know, I want to talk too. I can talk. We can all talk. I want to start off with something. Disney World right now, I don't care who you've been watching. I don't care who you listen to, like who your Disney people are, whatever. Disney is not slow. There's nothing about Disney right now that's slow. The crowds, they're like that. These slow crowds, Disney's dead. It's not true. I don't know why people are saying this. I don't know if they're going at the right time of day, the wrong time of day. I'm going. I'm sure if you go to certain parks at certain times of day, there can probably feel like there's some quietness going on. I've even felt that way a few times at Epcot. I think that one of the slowest days I saw was the couple days before Food and Wine. That was like one of the slowest days I've seen at Epcot in a year. But that doesn't mean anything. The parks are still so busy. If you open your app right now, Friday, 5:36, everybody should be at work. Nobody really should be like... I don't know what... I can tell you that right now, there's a 105-minute wait for Mine Train. There's a 90-minute wait for Peter Pan. There's a 75-minute wait for Haunted Mansion. Sure, is there a 25-minute posted wait for Pirates? Yes. 65 for Space. So yeah, is Space not? It's not 90 minutes like it used to be. It's not 120. 105 is not 130 for Mine Train. Peter Pan seems to kind of top out at that 70-90 minute marker. 75 minutes for the Haunted Mansion is off the hook. 45-minute Jungle Cruise wait. 45-minute Big Thunder. These are rides that I don't know if those are... If that's what people think is slow, then yes, Disney is slow. But that is not slow. The parks are not dead. They're not suffering. If you go to try to eat anywhere, you can barely ever get, you know, a quick line anywhere. Everybody's always in Cosmic Rays spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a day Disney makes just off of that stuff alone. Then the ticket sales, the lightsabers, the ears, the backpacks. I mean, I don't know what the cost of upkeep is, but I can tell you that that's a pretty self-sustainable place with their nice little, you know, on-site power plant and modern trash disposal in, you know, furnace inducted energy, blah, blah, blah. Disney's like, I don't know what the upkeep is, but if the upkeep's super bad, then anyway, no, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, the place is not hemorrhaging money. Everybody's like, Disney's in this desperate position, blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with the theme parks, just like the theme parks had nothing to do with when Disney was in a desperate position, or when Disney wasn't in a desperate position. When every Marvel movie you could count on to make $800 million plus, and some of them were going to make a whole lot more than that, you just didn't have to, like, you didn't have to worry. The company was just gonna, it was gonna make the money. You know, these, like, it's the reality is that now these things are not guaranteed money makers anymore. Like, that was their problem. Disney does have a huge problem. It's that, and it's the only thing anybody should talk about. It's the fact that they're ruining everything that they have. Star Wars, Marvel, these are their two biggest franchises, and they're ruining them. Even internally, they can't make a good movie. Haunted Mansion made $25 million on its opening weekend. That is disgustingly pathetic. There's nobody wants to see any of these Disney movies. Encanto was easily the last Disney movie that went over well. It was streamed on Disney Plus, so Disney didn't even get any box office numbers from it. It's just like, the company is, I don't know, there's no the creative direction is what's flawed. Joe Rohde leaves the Imagineering squad. You have a lot of these people like Favreau having to step in to take over Star Wars to try to save it. And even so, we'll see with the next round of Star Wars. It could save Disney single-handedly, right? These movies could yet again become not only $2 billion movies at the box office, but they could become multi-billion-dollar money makers as well. So here's the deal. Magic Kingdom, pound for pound, right now, is the best Magic Kingdom that has ever existed. If there was an electrical light parade, it would be unquestionable. If there was a nighttime parade, that would be an unquestionable thing. But since there isn't, we can kind of like say, oh, you know, maybe not. Maybe it's not the best version of itself. But on the other hand, look at all the rides. All the rides are the best versions of themselves. I mean, even some things that aren't, like Pirates could re-add that misty waterfall of Davy Jones and that kind of stuff that I loved, you know. But there could be the Hatbox Ghost is coming, Tron, even the expansion of Mine Train and Ariel, and like, I don't miss 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea more than I like Ariel. I don't know. I just think the Magic Kingdom's the best pound for pound price admission version of itself. The fireworks show's a banger, the parades are bangers, the food's great, snacks are great, the entertainment's all back and where it should be. I mean, even if it doesn't have all the things it once did, if it had all those things, then nobody would complain, right? But I think that people are complaining, and that just means that they're not getting like what they think is the most bang for their buck over there. I think you've seen a lot of people who like move here and the same thing happens to them. Oh, here's Priscilla and Edwin. It's a good example of them too. They're just like me. And Michael and so many other people. It seems to be this pattern of like moving to the Magic and then realizing that being at Disney every day is not all it's cracked up to be. Now, I don't think that it's not worth going to the park. I think if you did it the right way, as a local, you can find tons of quiet moments away from the hustle and bustle of it all, but you have to take sacrifices with it. It means that the majority of your nights you have to spend at Animal Kingdom, and during the day, you have to kind of try to get out to Epcot a little bit earlier, because those seem to be the quietest places. Epcot, you know, around that 10, 11 before the booths get going. And then, again, Animal Kingdom at night, it seems to really die down. You can find those 30-minute, 25-minute Navi River Journey rides, and that's when it's like, that's when a park is quiet. If the parks were like that all the time, Disney'd be doomed, right? Then they would be hemorrhaging money. But they're not. Navi River Journey has a 90-minute wait all the time. Like, they're just not hemorrhaging money. They're not, people are not going on vacation. Everybody's like, oh, look at all the deals for Florida residents. Like, Disney has a lot of hotel rooms. That's like, you know, most people don't even want to stay on property. They're just like, if they're trying to budget a vacation, they don't want to spend that extra. They know that the Disney hotel is going to cost more, so they're asking their travel agent, what's Margaritaville like? What's all these other places that are way cheaper and the amenities are great and it's only a 15-minute drive? Like, for some people, it just chalks up that way, and I think that the hotels are quieter than maybe they have been. I think that that's a possibility, that the hotels maybe are a little quieter than they once were. All I heard was nighttime light parade. Oh, I was saying that I just think Magic Kingdom, if you added, say, an electrical light parade and you added in maybe the Main Street Singers, I forget what they were called, not the Dapper Dans, but the Singers, the trolley show. If you added those few things back in, these key things that, now you've got roaming Stitch, you've got all these things, like, I think in general, like, Magic Kingdom's the best version of itself that it has been. Jenna's here? Not in the chat. Oh, she's on her way. Jenna will be with us momentarily. She's en route to where we are right now. I just think it's the best version of itself. If you take Tron into consideration, you take in the fact that we're going to get a Hatbox Ghost, you take in the fact that you can still see Country Bears, you can still see Small World, Tiki Room in their original, more or less, forms. The Jungle Cruise got a refurb a couple years ago. It's up to date. Pirates has Johnny. It looks good. Redhead scene just got redone a couple years ago. It's great. Tiana's is going to be like Pandora at night over there. Beautiful new ride. Again, another new, up-to-date. Splash wasn't even an old ride, so the fact that that's going to get updated is just insane. Like, not the political part of it, just the pound for pound that it's going to become a better ride. Using those animatronics and the blue sky art of what they'll do outside, knowing what they do with Pandora and how the Bayou has that luminescence as well. That's beautiful. I mean, Big Thunder, I mean, the day that they put some of those things that Disneyland has, like when you're going through the tunnels and the TNT's exploding around you, things like that, I mean, Magic Kingdom will become its definitive version, but I think it's its best version it's ever been right now. That's all. I mean, I just think Be Our Guest, you know, is like Cinderella's counterpart. For a long time, there was only one premier character dining. It was Cinderella's. Now you can do Be Our Guest as well. Not to mention, if you want to stay old school, you can still do Crystal Palace. You can still do Liberty Tree. These places have been there forever. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's in a good place. And then, obviously, like Animal Kingdom's the absolute best version of itself it's ever been. Outside of the fact that Dino Land lost Triceratops Spin. So I shouldn't say that. When whatever gets put up there, it will be the best version of itself ever. Because technically it's the same thing that it was minus Primeval Whirl, which makes it less than. But it only a couple years ago was in its top form. Pandora bringing in the thunder of this immersive land, ushering in this new era of Galaxy's Edge and the Avengers Campus and this Arendelle land in Paris and Hong Kong and Shanghai and all these places that now have immersive lands. Like, it all jumps off the back of Pandora. The park was the best it had ever been. I mean, did you miss Camp Mini Mickey? I didn't. Did you miss the riverboat rides? Of course not. You know, Nemo was in full force before COVID. The light show had just changed to Rivers of Light. If it wasn't Rivers of Life, I forget what it changed to. everything was in its full function. Everything was great over there. And Hollywood, you can say the same thing. Hollywood's a weird version of itself now, but definitely still, even though it's a hodgepodge and I don't like the cultural vibe, like the idea of, not cultural, I should just say more of the creative kind of atmospheric vibe. It doesn't mesh well to me. It seems like there's like counterculture, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just weird. It's so off the beaten path in terms of, here's Frozen, here's Star Wars, here's the Muppets, here's Star Wars again, here's Toy Story. You like the Tower of Terror? You like the Twilight Zone? How about the Cars guys? You like the Cars guys? We got the Cars. It's like, it's so much stuff, and it just becomes, it's just silly, you know? But it's still, if you think about Rise of the Resistance being, in my opinion, the best ride I've ever been on in my life, and outside of the Velocicoaster, I think the best ride in Orlando, it's hard to say, like, no, like, Hollywood's not it. I mean, Rockin's great, Tower's still great, Indiana Jones is still great, Mickey and Minnie's is pound for pound different, but better than the Great Movie Ride, right? Toy Story Land, great addition. Out there, the backlot show and all that. I mean, the backlot's a different vibe, right? It's a different, it fit more to the park. The park might have made more sense, but it wasn't worth, your ticket wasn't worth more back then. Now you've got rides that cost $500 million to make, so it's like, of course it's the best version of itself it's ever been. And now you've got Epcot, which is, I think, the one that you can really complain about. Hi, Dawn, how are you? I think Epcot's the one you can really say that it's not the best version of itself it's ever been. Although Guardians is so, everybody thinks, you know, that I interview, they say that, they tell me that's their favorite Disney ride, all that. Bodywork, ImageWorks, the Energy Pavilion, Wonders of Life, World of Motion. I don't know. I don't know. These rides weren't better than, let's say, Ratatouille, right? But they were more. Because right now you've got things like World of Motion that got, you know, even the Wonders of Life, right? The pavilion is just sitting there. This giant gold dome in Epcot that doesn't have anything in it anymore. It's so weird. Horizons, yeah, come on. I don't know, I just think it's weird. You know, I like Mission Space. I think it's a good ride, and I think I like what they did with that area now that it has Space 220. I think that it's a better themed area, and like, yeah, it's probably, I don't know, Epcot, when the middle of it finally reopens and we get Moana, and maybe they finally figure out what the fireworks show is, Epcot's lost in translation right now. So if people hate on Epcot, I get it. I get it. If people are twisted up about Epcot and they're like, oh my God, the festival this year is not as good as it's been because, you know, where's the stuff that we used to be able to do and all the cool shows and used to go do the wine tastings and all this stuff, it's all gone. So it's like, I get it. The middle's all gone. Everything's just, even Harmonious, which was so good. And Disney's a lack of fun. People are bored with Disney. That was his words from the stream. What happened? Oh, me. Are you quoting me? Huh. The Epcot night show is very good. You still love the park? Yeah, I know. It's a tough thing. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was, I was interested to hear, like, the past few weeks, so many people talking about, like, the state of Disney, Disney Plus, Disney this, Disney that. I listen to everybody as much as I can, and it's interesting. It seems like I tune in or I get recommended videos the most when they have these topics, because YouTube knows I like to listen to them. So even people whose videos I haven't seen in months will pop up if they have a conversation like this, and it makes me think. I think, damn, you know, there's a point there that Disney is lacking. You know, there's something that's messed up over there, and I get it more than anybody. But I don't think I think it's a creative thing. I think it comes from a place of not understanding the properties that they have, not understanding what they are as a movie making, park producing mega house. They're not a, for lack of a better word, right? They're not a virtue signaling company. They're not a company that we should look to find our ideals. They never have been. I mean, if you found your ideals through watching The Little Mermaid, like, you were in trouble, right? I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I'm just saying, like, any girl growing up should have known then that you don't throw yourself at some guy just because he's pretty and give up your voice and your whole life to blah, blah, blah. Like, it's romantic and all that, but it always should have been taken with a grain of salt. Yeah, his is one of the videos that I watched. But, yeah, they're just not a virtue. We don't need our virtue signaling from Disney. You know, like, I'll take, like, you know who I want to hear, like, tell me, like, how I'm supposed to feel about stuff? Really? It's nobody. I think that's the problem. I think the problem is that they don't understand who they're supposed to be. And the reality is that Pixar was an infallible movie studio. Pixar had never made a bad movie until now. And now they've made several. That's the one that sticks out to me like a sore thumb. Because perfection doesn't exist in life. So Pixar was riding a wave that obviously could never have lasted forever. But it's interesting that it happened to fall in with the dawn of Disney Plus, this new era of creation. This, as for lack of a better word, woke factor. When you watch a movie like Toy Story, it's important to remember, like, that there's prejudice in that movie, right? Buzz comes in as the outsider. Nobody wants any part of him because he's the outsider. Some people do, but Woody, our hero, quote unquote, like, hates Buzz just on the fact that, like, he exists and that he's there to take something from him. And, like, the whole point of the movie is, like, becoming friends with people that you have, like, that you initially wouldn't want to have been. It's like, that's, the movie didn't tell you that flat out. If you were smart enough, you got to figure that out. And now I think everything's so dumbed down that they think they have to tell kids, like, oh, this is exactly how things have to be. Oh, well, look who's arrived. This has been a fun adventure, a fun, good stream. Parker and Jenna have arrived, and we're gonna get everybody moved into the car. That's good. I'm ending the stream now.
Perfect. I gotta put these in the drop box.
Yes, of course. That's cool. This is great. Okay, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you all tune in. I'm gonna leave this short so people can go back and listen to it. I had said all I needed to say. The bottom line is the parks aren't quiet. Disney's not doomed, and we just gotta, you know, things will change. I'm gonna go get these guys. I appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your night. Please come by tomorrow and see what we're doing for an adventure, because it'll be fun. Okay? Okay. Hitting the button now. Bye.